Hi guys, welcome to this Wednesday's learning session. So what I wanted to share with you was probably something you are all familiar with, but I find it is a good thing to start from the very super basic things to understand how things work. And the thing that has puzzled me the most over the last few months is Shopify apps. For several reasons. Probably the biggest reason is because they are interfaces to something we do not control ourselves. Shopify is this big behemoth lurking behind clouds out there, and it is difficult or kind of difficult to come up with efficient and ways to achieve what we want. So what Shopify gives us is apps, which we'll be talking about today. So what are Shopify apps? Um, Basically, Shopify apps are interfaces to a remote store. The store is out there behind this curtain of clouds. We can interact with the store using a graphical interface, but we cannot really modify what's going on over there, much at least. What we can do is set up Shopify apps. These are pieces of software which make you able to implement custom logic that otherwise would be hard or impossible to put in place. Like there are some other options such as the Flow app, but it has some pros and some cons. The pros are that like Flow is integrated into the Shopify environment. The con is, something related to privacy and security because people can just, go and add and remove flows, and sometimes you want to have a little bit more control about what's happening in your application. Some parts of the application might be sensitive. You want to keep more control on it. So how does an app communicate with your Shopify store? Essentially through, for the backend at least, through webhooks. Webhooks can use like 3 different technologies, but there's not really a big deal of difference between them. One is like basic HTTP calls, and the other two are queue-based. Correct me if I'm wrong, but EventBridge and PubSub are methods to manage events and queues. EventBridge is managed by Amazon AWS, and PubSub is by Google. So our apps will receive some events from our Shopify stores, and they will interact with the store using like 2 major handles, which are the REST API and the GraphQL API. Now, if you read online, Shopify is phasing away from the REST API and phasing to the GraphQL API, but according to some sources, the REST and the GraphQL API are not completely functionally equivalent. And some things you can only do in the REST API, some other things you can only do in the GraphQL API. So the situation is kind of fluid. And in some situations, you might have to use both inside your project. So how do you develop Shopify apps? There are some official methods and some get-to methods. Today we'll be mostly talking about the get-to methods to later turn into some more structured approach. So to develop serious applications, you usually use Remix or a combination of Rails and React, Rails for the backend and React for the front end. These 2 links that are available in the presentation are to the 2 templates. Let me link the presentation for you in the notes. I think it was not shared, or maybe. Okay. So what else do apps do for us? Besides administrative interfaces and flows, making you able to change some stuff on the admin side, they also enable you to enrich the admin's experience and the customer experience. The admin experience is enhanced using AppBridge, which is the way that you can take a front-end application and tie it to an existing custom application or App Store application. So if you want to develop something that will be embedded in Shopify admin, you have to use AppBridge. And there are some other tools associated with AppBridge as well, such as Shopify Polaris. And AppProxy is a way to add some parts to your store, some slices, some pages that are not hosted by Shopify itself, but actually reside on your application, on your app. For example, Alberto and Gianluca did this for the Tanico application implementing the wish list, which is based on AppProxy. What do you want to do today? Our goal today is to first try a getter method and see what is possible with a super basic application and see what it allows us to do, which is already something in my opinion. And then we will repeat the same thing with the Rails App Gem. Okay, so just a little bit more of an introduction to Shopify apps. Apps can be of different types. This is not super evident from the documentation. I found that it was not super clear to me. So I spent some time trying to figure this out. So apps can be public apps, listed or unlisted. The public apps listed or unlisted can be multi-tenant, meaning that your application is like lives somewhere, but multiple stores will connect to it. And every store will be saved in the apps database, or will have to be saved in the apps database, because every app will be mapped to its own way to interact with the store, which is a Shopify token. And for custom developments, you can have draft apps, which you can start on your store or another store by your client, your customer. And the draft apps will eventually become custom apps, which are specific to a single store, and can be also developed in isolation without having access to your store. And then, I mean, we are partners, and we will provide an installation URL to the client to install the application, and then the client will manage installation by himself or herself. So what I wanted to do here is just set up a very simple Express web server Node.js, which will be the target of webhooks. And it will not do much initially. Like, there's actually another point I added on top of this, but I wanted to do this interactively. So just okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, you should see my console. Okay, so what we are doing now is let's start from a store. So we have a store. I have this one. Oh, actually, I have this store. I have this store. And this is my store, and I want to let me make it bigger. I want to develop something for my store, but I don't have any specific like scopes. My scope is just, oh, today I need to do this. Maybe tomorrow I need to do something else. Let me destroy this because it was one of my tests. Okay. So we will create an app from here, like just to clarify apps and sales channels, develop apps, create an app, and we'll call it the Express. And of course you have to say who's developing this. Okay, so this is a custom app. Actually, this is a draft app. I was not able to find very good documentation on the difference between, like, this doesn't belong to a partner. This belongs to the store owner. So this cannot be installed anywhere else. This is just specific to this store. So this makes it a custom app, unlisted, and it is under my exclusive power, let's say, or anyone else who can manage this. So what we are going to do now is we want this application to do something. I mean, API integration. Let's give it, like, let's try to obtain a token to do stuff on our application. We want to, oh, actually I want products. Let's read products. Okay, save. So what we are asking, what we're asking to Shopify is, okay, I want to make an application which can read products. And now that I have specified some scopes for this application, I can install the app. When I install the app, what I get back is a token. And this will only be revealed once. So let's just save it in an env file. Let me remember what I call this. Shopify app token is probably this. Okay, and here we saved it. So what we're going to do now is essentially set up a simple web server. So install Express and Express. Oh, wait, maybe I need to do modules and npm init. Okay. Okay. Now we have a package. Okay. npm install Express. Nodemon. Okay. Now what we are going to do is add a dev script which will index mjs. Oh, and of course I forgot to add to reload it. It should be all right now. Let's create an index mjs. And what we will do in this index mjs is we'll express from express. This is a JavaScript module, by the way. It's app express and app use express JSON because we want to parse everything. App listen to process env port, and we have a callback log. Okay, so this is the most basic. It doesn't actually do anything, but we can. Okay. Another thing we can do is prepare this another script which we use post maybe 8081, and let's see if it works. If we can run. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, so this was not what I wanted to do. I don't remember. And it was a tunnel, Cloudflare D. What was it? It was URL, Cloudflare D tunnel URL. Okay, so here we're starting a tunnel with Cloudflare. This is just a temporary tunnel which we use to expose this to the outside. And we'll copy this and let's copy to host. And here we try to run dev if it works. It seems to work, and it should also be monitoring it. Like, as you can see, using nodemon, we can specify an m file, and it will read the env variables. So it is listening on port 8081, but currently it's not doing anything. So let's do app get slash. Then we can specify a request and response and console log This is fine. And then we can either curl or probably just do this. Can't. Okay, plain text. We don't have this anymore. Okay. And console, this is fine. And res and I think. Okay, no bother returns for response. Or we can do res send world. Hello world. Okay. This is very basic Express server with nothing special. Okay, what we want to do now is set up a path where our Shopify application will send webhooks. So webhooks are sent using a post request and can take parameters. Right. And let's just do webhook received topic, and we'll use rec arms topic. Okay, nothing else. Actually, we can do.
Marco, I don't know if
Yes.
it's just me, but the screen is frozen.
Is it? Okay, sorry. I'll share again. Thanks for telling me, because I was continuing. Sorry, it's out of my control. Oh, I will share my terminal, which might be better for now. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yes.
Rec body. Okay, so now we have set up another route, which should receive a webhook, log the payload, and return 200 as a status. So let's see if this works. How do we set up webhooks to send this to our application? How do we do that? Let me share. Of course, I have to share my entire screen now. Okay. Can you guys see my screen now? Yes. Okay. Let me open the store and we'll set up. Of course, I don't remember. Okay. And we'll set up, if you go to settings, how do we set up manual webhooks? We'll do it from here. So we can create a new webhook with a variety of things like fulfillment, inventory, everything you can think of. In this case, we are interested in product update, which we have here, and we'll just edit it and we'll set it to the current tunnel address, which should be here somewhere. Okay. Now what we are doing is we're telling this application, this store, actually, if any product is modified, you have to send. No, I didn't want to do this. You have to send an update. So this is a product, and we'll try to see if it works. Okay, seems to work. It has been received by the webhook. As you can see, everything was received. This is the payload. So this is a very super basic application which will receive a webhook for you, provided you have a tunnel, which you can easily do with Cloudflare. What is the problem with this approach? So what we are not doing is we don't have any security for this. I hope this works. No, maybe it will work just like this. I don't remember. Let me do this again and see what comes out. Okay, see if we can spot the headers. Okay, these are the headers, and what Shopify gives us is this array of things. these things, X Shopify API version, these are all side information about the webhook. And one of the things Shopify sends us is the HMAC SHA-256. So there's a code that we can use. Why is this important? Because if we are not checking this HMAC, then we can easily trick the system. So now I sent a request from Insomnia, and of course, if I had bad intentions, I could probably fake a fake message instead of a good message. So let's add one more thing that we want to do. Let's try to validate this, and let me copy it from this HMAC. So there is this notion of middleware in Express, which is something that can be executed in between requests and responses as a filter. So what we will do now is like add a couple of dependencies, crypto, and I think we also have body parser. Okay, so what we are doing here is we will be receiving this in our body, and we will not be using this anymore. Actually, we're using a different thing, which is this. So if you're following along, we're just setting up a middleware, which for every request will check that the HMAC 256 SHA is correct. You will see that it will probably not work right now. Oh, actually, it seems to work because I did not restart this. So if I restart this, it should crash. It's not crashing. Why is it not crashing? Okay. Oh, maybe because there's no. Okay. If I try to update it again from here, it should maybe crash. It's not crashing. It's pretty strange, actually. Am I executing the right thing? Index. Check with the or is it applied? Oh, app use webhook topic. Okay, body parser. Okay. Body parser. Yeah, we have it. Okay, let's try it again. I want to actually I want to make it fail. Okay, guys. We have now currently it's failing successfully. And what it does, I mean, what this tells us is we don't have this variable. So there's a secret which is used by our application to validate these kind of things. And you can see currently it's crashed. But where is the secret? If we go to settings and notifications and webhooks, your webhooks will be signed with this value. So as you can see, we expect to have this variable webhook HMAC secret. Okay. Only one thing. This is a sensitive information. This is sensitive information. Can you guys see me? Hear me? This is sensitive information because it will be the same for your shop, and you, as far as I know, you cannot rotate this. So if you unwillingly publish this to GitHub, it's not great. So
What?
now we are, yeah.
So what happens if you publish it? Do you need to call support?
I have absolutely no idea, but there's a reason why I know this is not. I mean, you can easily lose track of this. And probably support can regenerate another one because there's no rotate credential here. So I don't know, to be honest. But currently, what we are getting is unauthorized. Why are we getting unauthorized? Because this crashes against this middleware. So this is our protection against man-in-the-middle attacks, or receiving invalid payloads from custom application, from somebody else. Another thing I wanted to add to this application is, okay, currently we are receiving this, but we're not doing anything. So how do we do actually something with the key? Allow me to get rid of this, and let me load this because it's a bit more complicated. So what we can do is we can respond to product update and use the GraphQL API. The GraphQL API is usable using, like in this case, there's this very simple GraphQL client, which is also super basic, which will call with which we'll call the GraphQL endpoint with using the Shopify access token, which is specific to our application. And then we'll run this essentially. Like this should add I have to recreate env because let me recreate env. It got destroyed. So Shopify access token, of course, I lost it. Now. I have to create another application. Okay, give me a second. Sorry, this is all a little bit improvised, but okay. Uninstall the app. App settings, delete the app, and create a new one. 30 seconds. And get a new Shopify token. Okay, configuration, admin API integration, read products, which is needed for our webhook. Install our application. Okay, at this point we get our token, which can only be revealed once. So don't copy me, don't kill your env files. Notifications, we can grab this again, HMAC secret, otherwise it won't work. Shop. This is used in the GraphQL client, essentially here, and API version should also be okay. So let's run this again. Okay, it's working again. Okay, and now if we go here and edit a product, test update 4. If everything works and we reload the page, we should see a new processed by Webhook. Should be processed by Webhook, but okay, I wanted to change this to Express Webhook actually. Maybe you have something else still running, which is also doing this process by Webhook. Okay, so this tag was added by this, and so like the what this means is we have successfully received a webhook, and we have acted performing a change using the GraphQL API. Okay, so this is for the first part. Now let me share my my terminal again. Okay, I will only share my terminal for now. Okay, so this is the most basic application I could think of, like receiving something and operating. Now, what I want to show you is an alternative. So this basic Express application was able to do the very least, but it did not set up an app in the partner's dashboard. It did not set up an embedded app in the Shopify admin. There are several more things that you can do with this. It did not use AppBridge. So this experience was mostly underwhelming. Luckily, we do have a solution which is almost completely integrated and able to bring us to good results, and that is the Shopify App Gem. So what I want to do now is follow with you the very quick installation for the Shopify App Gem.
You're muted.
Sorry, wrong tab. I do this all the time. Yeah, what I wanted to do is open this, the Shopify App Gem documentation, and show you how easy it is to start developing a much more powerful application with the generators and everything. Raise finally. Okay, you're based. There's some. Okay, let's continue. So what do we want to do now? Like, we could do the exact thing we did before and create a custom application and grab the token and blah blah blah. But what we want to do now is actually create a proper custom application which belongs to a Shopify partner. I hope you can see my screen. Yes. Okay, so there are actually different ways to do this, but like, let's start manually. Let's create an app from scratch. Let's call it Wednesday Arrays. Okay, so the difference between the old application and this one is this belongs to the Nebulab organization, and Nebulab is a Shopify partner. So this application is basically set up for one of two paths. One is to become a public listed or unlisted app, which can be installed by any shop. And the other is a custom app, which can only be installed in a single shop or different shops, but for the same client. Okay, and you will choose when you choose public or custom distribution. Public, any store, custom distributions, just for one organization. But we're not going to do that now. We're just going to develop the application. So we're going to use this to develop our app. So raise new my Shopify app. I've done this already. Let's start here from Wednesday raise. So you can see this is just a basic raise application with no changes. Okay, no, not modules, no nothing. Okay, clean raise up. What we're going to do now is we'll add Shopify app to the bundle. Oh, by the way, you can, of course, you can follow this from, like, this was the Express app, and this is the current. I forgot. Okay, we're installing this gem. We'll also be installing the .env rail gem. .env rail gem. So we should see them popping out in our gem file, both of them. Gem file, the last two gems added by bundle add are these two. And what we need now is an env file for a .env to read. And what we're going to do is copy these two. Okay, Shopify API key. What we also want to do is start a tunnel, but this time the tunnel will be pointing at port 3001. This is not done automatically for us, so we'll do it manually. And we get this URL, which we'll put here. Okay. The two variables we'll take from here. One is the public key, and the other is the private key. Okay, so currently for the documentation, we are all set. What we can do is we can generate our Shopify app. Let's check. Okay, just gem file. Okay, let's generate a Shopify app directly on top of our Rails application. It will create a bunch of files, quite a big bunch of files. And we'll also migrate to the database. Okay, as you can see, it creates some structure for authentication. It creates access scopes, etc. And then we could run the apps. We could run the app. We're not going to do that because, first of all, I want to show you this configuration file. This configuration file, which by default needs to be formatted better. Let's specify some things. So we'll call it Wednesday Rails secret, and these are the scopes that we are requesting. Okay, so now as you see, it needs these two variables, which we should have, API key and API secret, and we can start the application. Start the application. Oh, sorry, it was starting on port 3000. I wanted to start on 3001. Okay, it's 3001 now. And what it tells you is try to navigate to your Rails application, and it asks you, like, this is all managed by Shopify App Gem. As you can see, if you're curious, if you check your route, it added the things. So this is like a sample, but the engine is mounted at slash. And if you check here, you have this new route here, most of which are like sessions, callbacks, and webhooks. Okay, so let's try to install this on our shop. And it doesn't work. Out of the box, it doesn't work due to invalid scopes requested. Okay, this is unexpected because theoretically the gem should be fine. But actually, the way to fix this is, you see here, there's new embedded auth strategy. The new one is not working fine for us, at least at this stage. So we have to disable it and reload the application with the old strategy. 3001. Okay, what now? Okay, but the direct URI is not whitelisted. So currently, this application, and actually most Shopify applications of this kind, like custom applications, use OAuth for authorization and authentication. So what we need to do is we need to authorize our URL to the application. So in this case, we know from our tunnel that our application is being exposed on this URL. So we'll set it here. And there's actually auth Shopify callback. Shopify callback. So when we save this, it will release a new version, as you can see. And now we can probably make this work. Hopefully. Okay. Okay. The application now works. I mean, it exists in the partner dashboard, and it is ready to be installed on shops. You could install this on different shops as well. And of course, when you try to install it, it will ask for some permissions, which you might review and accept or not accept. But in this case, we want to accept them. So view products is the only thing we asked. And this is the application. And it also created this page inside, and there are some webhooks inside here. So what we have done here is just install the application, install the Shopify App Gem, and create a very, very simple application in a completely manual way. This application doesn't have a configuration file and is not complete from the point of view of Shopify apps. Most Shopify apps are managed by a combination of the Shopify CLI and some node code and packages, which we don't have. So currently, this is a very basic application. And in this very basic application, we will add, we'll do the same that we did on the other side. So we will add a webhook. So as you can see in this configuration file, which is still config initialize the Shopify app, we have this key, which is config webhooks. Config webhooks is essentially our interface to a registry of webhooks that are managed by the gem. So webhooks can be registered on Shopify like manually, as we did before, or you can do it using the APIs. I think both the REST APIs and the GraphQL API can register and also list existing webhooks. So this is all managed for us by Shopify app, and essentially this component, Webhooks Manager. And after initialize, the registrations will be added and managed for you. So what we're going to do is add a webhook. These are, by the way, these are some of the customary, like the mandatory webhooks, which public application should have. So it should be able to tell its owner, its developer, when it has been uninstalled, when customer data was requested. I think that is when a customer requests their own data, and when a customer requests their data to be destroyed, and the same goes for a shop. So actually, I think we have like basic implementations of this included in the gem. App uninstalled. Okay, should destroy the shop, meaning destroy the shop from the database. Customer's data request doesn't do anything, as you can see, yet. Customer deck doesn't do anything. These are all left for your completion. Like you need to complete this. If you intend to publish your application, this will need to actually delete all of this data, and also app uninstalled. App uninstalled, you can signal the developer why you can tell the developer why the app was uninstalled. Like I didn't like the app or whatever other reason. So let's add the products update, webhooks products update, and try to restart the application, because this is all part of an initializer. So we're actually changing the configuration. So let's start it again. And there's an error. What is the error? Like missing webhook job error. Okay, what this means is essentially all of these webhooks are supposed to be asynchronous. So our application is supposed to receive these calls, these webhooks, but the application should use active job to start a custom job to manage this activity. As you can see from these ones, apps and install jobs, it is as a class of active job base. So we're going to do the same. Let's copy this and create a new job called Alex update job RB. We don't need this anymore. Let's make everything. Oh, it's okay. And we'll call it products update shop. And we're not gonna destroy the shop. That would be silly. And let me copy another block, which is this one. We will need a Shopify session to do something. And what we're going to do is webhook receive topic and we'll also log payload webhook. Okay, some errors here. Okay, so now we should have this ready to
Marco,
start. Yes,
just so you know, you have 10 minutes left.
yes, 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 I can make it.
Okay.
So let's restart this. Let's restart this. So what we're going to do is currently our application should be installed on our store. It is. So let's do the same that we did before. Like let's grab Dr. Duck. Duck is amazing, and save it and see if it works. Oh no, I'll tell you why it doesn't. Because we did not reinstall the application after we created a new webhook. So the app actually doesn't know about this webhook. It is not registered. So what we need to do in this simple situation, like there are alternatives, of course, is uninstall the application to trigger the behavior that will install it again. Okay, let's install it again. Okay, now the webhooks should be installed. As you can see, there's a job that takes care of installing the webhooks, and you can see it here, Webhooks Manager job. So what are we gonna do now? Let's try again. All right, Dr. Duck. Let's see. Yes, we received it. Okay, we received it. As you can see, we have achieved the same state that we used to be in before. What I want to do now is move to oh God. Okay, I can never remember which one it is. Okay. 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 So now we should be in main, and I will show you the newest thing you can do with this. I mean, the last part of my demonstration was to add a tag here. Add tags, call add tags in this case is courtesy of a gem, and the gem is called Shopify GraphQL. Shopify GraphQL is a more gentle way to interact with GraphQL, and you install this gem, and then you have an easier time developing your GraphQL queries. And I will show you what they look like. They look like this essentially. In this case, it is a mutation to add a tag to an entity, and you call it, and you perform anything you want, like you massage your data. Anyway, this is it. And in theory, if this works, which maybe, it should add another tag if we do this. Processed by, it's already there, but okay, let's try removing them and updating it again. Okay, it's not working for some reason. Oh, okay. Yeah, the migrations are not. Oh my God. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, still some problems. Okay, active regular product establish shop not found. Shop not found. Okay, of course. Oh, great, because we don't have that. Okay, but anyway, I hope you get the gist of the thing. Let me share again. Let me share the Chrome tab. Shopify Express. Okay, guys. How do we debug our webhooks? This is something that was kind of difficult for us at first. I thought it was appropriate because it's an accurate depiction of the experience debugging Shopify webhooks. So the problem is you usually don't have access to your tokens. So if you want to recreate your and even list your webhooks and your application is installed on a third-party store, you don't necessarily have easy access to all of the credentials. So if you have access to the Rails console, this is how you can get your token, and then you can use the token to try to recreate the webhooks and see what goes wrong manually from the console. You can put your credentials in a client such as Postman or Insomnia. I didn't show you that, but it is certainly possible. And yeah, this is just a hint. Alberto has done an excellent job putting some of this into custom methods to be added to the console, to the Rails console. So you can just write the current session, and it will do all of this automatically, which is also magic. So what else? Oh, another thing which I use extensively. Once you get your credentials, you can use this to see if your webhooks have been properly set up. One more thing Alberto did for our store was he created a tab in the embedded part of the application, which allows us to perform essentially this, but from the graphical interface, which is golden, and also inspect the state of the existing webhooks, HTTP or Event Bridge, which is brilliant.